What's going on, everyone? This is the Nerd Informer, and today we're going to be talking about a couple topics today. We both recently just saw Venom. We'll give a little input on that, and then we're going to go back to the Alaska Triangle. With this episodes are going to be about paranormal, which creepy as shit.
It's because it's October, bitches.
Oh yeah, pretty much the whole
Halloween.
month October. We're just going to do horror and creepy ass shit.
Oh yeah,
I actually like that idea.
doing it.
There's a couple other things in that Alaska Triangle that I like that I took notes of. That we can go over besides the paranormal.
Oh,
So,
dude, you know
so
what I found this morning? And I was going to talk to you. Um, you know the Back to the Future truck?
yeah, the Toyota.
Okay, so I guess they built two different ones, and
Mm-hmm.
the first one that they built was like sold off and somebody wrecked it. The second one they found on Craigslist. It
No
was
way.
bought in like a police auction because it was used to run drugs from Mexico into the US.
No way.
They painted it orange and it was sold on like Craigslist for like next to nothing.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I don't know why I found that so fascinating, but I did, and it was amazing.
I'm gonna pull up to Nissan one day. You're just gonna have that truck,
You know how many times I've looked for one,
dude.
and
They're
they're just
hard.
yeah, you can find them, but they're just completely beat to shit.
I've seen a couple online that were like in the most perfect shape at like a dealership, and it
Yeah,
was more or less like a lot of money for it just because of what it
yeah.
is.
I found one online that was kind of done up the way of the movie, and
Yeah,
they wanted like 22 grand for it.
depending on the mileage, it'd be worth it if you're just gonna collect it.
Yeah, I mean, if it was, yeah,
20 grand, you can take a little loss for that for considering what it is.
I would do it.
Yeah, I've seen
But
some like
but,
almost they look brand new at Toyota
but I make
dealerships.
bad decisions, so that's kind of what we do.
Exactly. Woo, did you hear that Pokemon and Universal announce a partnership?
Pokemon?
You fucking right, dude. I'm actually really excited about that. I'm a huge Pokemon fan for anyone wondering.
Apparently, we don't have any Twitch feed today, so I don't know what's going on.
It's a little
I'm gonna go.
weird.
I'm gonna go ahead and give up on it now before I turn this whole podcast into a swearing episode.
It was very true. But yeah, Pokemon's I guess they announced a partnership for new theme park experiences. I will I would fucking love that. I want to know what they're thinking. Just like the Super Mario World.
Well,
Um,
Universal announced that they're shutting down the Shrek 4D ride in
yep.
the first next year. And they haven't really announced what they're replacing it with yet. But
Um, I'm
I've heard like Zelda. I've heard all kinds of different speculation that people had, but
I'll take anything over
I
Shrek.
don't know.
Shrek was okay, but
Yeah, Shrek was good like pre-COVID
yeah,
because they splashed water on you, and I don't know, it was just a better ride.
the overall experience was way
And
better.
the beginning of the queue was a lot better.
Yeah,
When you start standing in line, it was a lot better. Then you miss all that because of COVID. They kind of shut everything down, and
yeah, it kind of
so
ruins that experience. I mean, I like
yeah.
that ride, but I know they're gonna do something way better. I really hope it's like a Zelda ride. But I heard Zelda was going over by where Barney was, so I could be
Either
wrong.
that,
Or that's the
e-
Pokemon. I mean, not Pokemon, the Mario.
either that, or they're going to shut down that Atlantis area.
That'd be cool for a Pokemon area with how big, how outdoory it is.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking cool.
So anyway, whatever we're talking about today. Oh yeah, Venom.
Venom.
What do you think? What do you think?
My expectations were really high, which I didn't. I wish I didn't put them that high.
I agree.
Um, I still really enjoyed the movie. I got to say the second half of the movie was better than the first half. There was just a lot of talking, which I mean I don't mind listening and knowing backstories and whatnot, but there was just more comedy than there was action, and I really hate when they do that because of, for instance, the last It movie could have been really good, but they threw so many comedians in it that it just ruined it for me and the
Uh,
overall
okay. Yeah, I don't
experience.
disagree with that. I liked
Uh,
it. I didn't mind it so much. I
I
tell you, I know what you're saying about this movie.
Yeah,
It was funny in the first one to like
yeah,
hear the back and forth and the banter between
yeah.
Venom and him, but they overdid it. They just made too much
completely.
of it this time. It was a good movie. Yeah, the first one was better, hands down.
Yeah,
I think.
definitely. You're right. They just talked way too much to each other when we already knew that's how they were.
Right.
And so, I mean, I guess if it leaves off from the last one, how they were like that, but I mean, way too much.
I like the way that he like got Venom got pissed off and basically left. You know what I mean? And started
Flicked
jumping
him
into
off
other people's
on the
body.
motorcycle.
Yeah,
That was fucking.
yeah.
That part was hilarious, dude.
There was some really funny stuff, but
Oh,
you
there.
know what my problem with the movie is, and it's my own fault because I'm an idiot. I went to this new theater that we have here, and it's called like SX or SZ or some kind of. It's like IMAX, but it's not.
Yeah,
They project parts of the movie that you don't see
yeah. On the
on the
walls.
walls all the way across, and
I
it
would.
was so distracting.
I wouldn't like that.
And I feel like they made the actual movie screen smaller to compensate for the wall. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they
Yeah.
just stretched the movie out on the wall. So
Hmm.
I feel like there's shit that I missed. Like
And
I
then you look
almost
around, and you didn't notice everyone's wearing 3D glasses, but you.
right.
You're like, fuck.
Wait a minute, this is 3D.
Hey.
It's a weird. It was a weird theater, and it's a new thing that they do here. I don't know. I don't even. It's called like SX or
Would you ever go to
FX.
another one of those theaters or
Never,
no? No.
never,
Yeah. See, I went to
never.
I went to our local one
It
and
was
that's
so
fucking awesome.
distracting, and it was cool in the beginning
Hmm.
because obviously I'd never seen anything like that before, and they, the best way I can describe it is like you'll see the movie screen like in a normal movie theater, and
Yeah.
then I feel like they just blew it up and
Yeah.
then just put the excess on the wall beside you.
So
So
you feel immersed.
you're supposed to feel immersed, but it was blurry. It wasn't clear. Like it's just, I don't know. It didn't work. It doesn't
Yeah.
work. And they got rid of the IMAX for that. And that was a
A
retarded move
horrible
because
mistake.
yes, 100%.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't go to that theater. I probably would have hated it.
Yeah. I wanted to punch myself in the face about halfway through.
But
Like
other than that,
I seriously almost got up and left because
because
I
of it,
wanted to watch the movie. And
yeah,
like, I just felt like it just took so much away from the movie.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Well,
I didn't like it. The movie was pretty
I
good.
give the movie a 6. I mean, a solid 6. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best. It was a good movie. It just I was more happy about the ending credits than I was the entire movie.
Yes, I agree with
Um,
that.
I gotta say the ending movie though, when Carnage got like really fucking big outside and like how he screamed and shit,
Yeah.
fucking that was like the most badass part of the movie.
Yeah,
When
there
he
was a
said
lot
he's
of good
Carnage.
parts of the movie,
Yeah, yeah,
but
definitely.
overall, the movie it's just it didn't hold up to the first one. The first
Yeah.
movie was
Some of the humor was really funny. Like when they were in the church and he's like, "Oh, they're going to die." He's like, "Who? We're going to die."
no,
And
not
it's
them, us, or whatever
yeah,
he says. Yeah.
yeah. That shit was. I was actually laughing pretty
No,
hard at
he said
that.
something like, "Oh, it's time to die," and he's like, "Yeah, that's the spirit." And he's like, "I was talking about us."
Yeah, yeah. That's what he said. Yep,
Something like
dude.
that.
It was so fun. I really like that kind of stuff. But
There
like,
were some really funny parts, but
yeah.
it's something that you wouldn't necessarily expect
So
in a
did
villain
he
movie.
get he got Carnage because of he bit him and got part of the
He bit
symbiote in
him.
him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he bit him.
Okay, that's what it was. Because I was wondering, I'm like, okay, that's what it was. I saw the symbiote like on his, in his mouth. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it would have been cool if there was the other ones. I think the other one's called Thrasher. Was it Thrasher, the green symbiote?
Oh, I don't know.
He was in the bunny in the first one. They could make a movie off of him. When they're testing like test subjects, they test humans and they
Oh
kept
yeah, yeah,
killing
yeah,
them.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Thrasher, I
yeah.
think, is his name, and he was the one that attached himself to the bunny, which would have been really fucking cool if they bring him into it. Pretty sure his name's Thrasher. Overall though, I mean, I'll
It was a
see
good
it.
movie. It was a fun movie to watch, but
I'll see it again.
I had higher expectations, and I hoped that it would have been a little
Yeah,
better. But
I'll see it again, but on Voodoo. Like when it comes out, I'll probably end up buying it and watching it again so I can concentrate on other things. But
yeah,
other than that,
I don't
eh,
know. It was pretty good. It wasn't.
I'm more excited to see the mashup between Spider-Man and Venom.
That should be cool.
Yeah, because of the ending was pretty cool. Like how he like was it because of Doctor Strange's events with Spider-Man is why he got into the other multiverse? You know what I mean?
Yeah, That's what it. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of what it looks like. But
That's the feeling I got. Like
yeah,
he is in this just in a different world, but he woke up in that hotel room with that guy.
right. I'm
So,
thinking that the timeline was something like that. Like, yeah,
so it's gonna be pretty cool to see. I really hope they have a fight or a battle. Um, really, I'd be really looking forward to seeing that, seeing how it pans out, and if they work together to take someone down.
yeah, that would be cool too.
Unless they set it up where he's gonna be in the multiverse with the
But
new
I
one.
think they're supposed to be enemies. Like, I don't think they're supposed to work together.
You would think that Brock wouldn't have a problem with him, considering he's a news
Right. Well,
anchor.
yeah, yeah.
So it'd be. I guess we'll just have to find out. It'd be pretty fucking cool though. We can talk about the Alaska Triangle, dude.
Yeah.
Watching more and more of this show is crazy to see how fucked up it is in Alaska. Considering, yeah, they said 30,000 people in the 30,000 people went missing in the last 16 years. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's
That or is it 60 years or 16? I think.
it's like 16,000 people in the last 10
Oh,
years or 20 years or
yeah,
whatever it
something
is.
like that. Insane. I like. Where are these people going? I mean, no trace of them, no clothes. You think you would
But
at least find clothes?
they bring it up in, they broke it up into sections. They have like aliens, they have Bigfoot, they have paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
And every time they bring it up into it, they bring it up like all these people are missing,
Yeah.
is it all contributed to, one or another, one thing, or Bigfoot, or is it a combination of everything? I'm assuming they're suggesting that's a combination of everything.
Yeah. You would start to like you would think that people are like if you go to Alaska, they're gonna put a tracker on you because they need this for science. They need to see where these fuckers go, dude. If
Yeah,
there's
but
that many people,
but it's such a vast landscape.
yeah.
And if you go to Alaska, you're going to Alaska to live off the land. Like,
It,
you know what I mean? You're not
more
going for
more or
the
less.
gourmet cuisine and whatever,
Don't tell me how to live my life. I'm just joking. But you would think that like
love the
if there's that
cuisine.
many people missing, why don't they just like have a volunteers like have a volunteer program where hey, people are going missing, have this tracker on you so we can fucking find you. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think if you go there, you don't want to be tracked.
That's true. Yeah, I see it in that way. But
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are still
statistics don't
missing,
lie.
that are living in a cabin somewhere off the grid, and
That just don't want to be found
right.
or brutally ripped apart from giants. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
One of the two.
Well, they touched on that, I guess,
Oh,
off the Aleutian Islands.
yeah.
They like in World War II, they were building a military strip, and they found like giant remains,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
said the skulls were like 2 or 3 times the
This,
size of the average human
yeah,
skull.
that was in 1936.
And I've
Um,
heard other things about um giants. Like, there's a whole nother island that has, like, it's supposed to be like Giant Island or something,
yeah,
and
it's
it's all
I
they
actually
just find
wrote it
they
down.
find, but no one knows where the remains are now.
Yeah, it's
And the
Thomas
head
Bay.
the head of the Smithsonian Institute actually found
The heads.
one of the
Or
heads,
no, he
or
found like the five cemeteries, or the cemetery.
he
Or
found he might have, I don't know, he may have found those, but he found body parts, a head and stuff like that. And but he before that, he was always, very much against the idea of,
yeah,
you people are nuts if you think giants lived, and
they called it.
but
It was in Thomas Bay, known as Bay of Death,
yeah.
is where they found that, and like yeah, it said in the beginning of the 20th century after the gold rush.
But
Um,
there's a paper trail
yeah,
that disappears of, of the chain of evidence,
and
the chain of evidence or
and
whatever.
they have the one like because they had to write everything down. There's one piece in the book saying when they found that head, and that went missing. Like, how the fuck
Yeah.
does that happen, dude?
And the parts and the remains that they found, the military guys found,
Mm,
went missing, and the government would never talk about it again. But the head of the Smithsonian, you would think, would want that shit out there. Like,
yeah, dude.
you have the largest collection of museums and shit in the world. Why would you, that
It
seems like a
actually
real
was there
cool.
in plain sight, but we just never saw it.
Right.
But
Yeah,
it's a masterpiece just right in front of us in one of the fucking buildings that we went into.
right in there. Yeah.
Motherfuckers. Probably is too. You got to think like what would you do with that? And the thing is, why would you want to hide it? Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. So no one really knows where they went. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, what did they do with them, and why? Why?
yeah. Like that has nothing. It's not hurting anyone to know or not know. You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
so weird to me why they cover shit up. Like, I don't. Aliens, for example, if
yeah,
aliens are real and aliens visit us, there's nothing we can do about it,
at
right?
all.
Like, we can get into a war with them if we want, but I don't think that would end well for us.
Yeah,
And
we'd be dead, all of us.
I don't understand, other than taking their technology, should they crash, like Roswell, scenario or something.
Yeah,
Why would you? I mean, why would you hide it? They say, oh, so to prevent the public from panicking and stuff like that. Well, we're all kind of in this together. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
if you're
What do you
facing
think?
aliens,
What do they think's going to happen? Everyone's going to raid Area 51. Like,
right?
no,
Like,
everyone's just going to go back to work because they need to make money.
well, and that's exactly it.
You know what I mean?
So I don't know. So,
I think
I
what they're
always say follow the money, but I don't know where the money leads to. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like, where
be
does
an
the money lead to?
endless loop.
I mean, you're probably let's say Roswell is real and all of that stuff is accurate.
Yeah,
That means that we have alien technology and we're probably using alien technology. And so what? Like, but it would be like it would be like one landing and crashing in China. China's gonna do the exact same thing we did. You know what I'm
everyone.
saying?
Yep.
And everyone would. Russia would. Any country that was capable would do the exact same thing.
Oh yeah,
And if we have them, you have to assume other countries do. Like, they don't just crash in America. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Just like every
So
fucking movie.
so if we're able to re-engineer or back engineer these things, China's got some pretty smart people over there. They probably figured it out too. So all we're doing is fighting alien technology with alien technology at that point.
Yeah.
So it's basically mutual destruction. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and it's a matter of time before one of those countries shoot down one of those fuckers.
Well, and yeah, that's another thing.
And that's the thing is before they do that, first, they'll probably miss.
Because there's
And
stories of us of our jets, going after them. I don't know if they were
chasing them and can't even fucking catch them.
Right.
So
I assume they were trying
imagine
to
trying to shoot one of those things going a complete right turn at 20 miles per hour.
You would
There's
have
no
to.
way.
You would have to find one that was crashed. It would have to be a Roswell scenario. I think.
Yeah.
I think you would have to find it. But
I think the only way to like really get them without people knowing is throwing an EMP. You know what I
Maybe.
mean? It would take out everything. It would take out literally everything. Even the
Maybe.
people in the fucking jets.
But again, you don't know what their ships run on. I mean, you assume maybe
it would have to be some
EMP.
kind of electronic. You know what I
It
mean?
would have, I don't know. Does it? It's like, who knows? Like,
Yeah.
with that kind of technology, who knows what they run on?
I'm guessing it's some kind of electricity.
You would think so.
But
If
if
they
you
have lights and shit on them, but
yeah, that and
how far advanced are they? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but they're obviously there's no
they
way
hit
to
one
tell.
button and shut down the entire world.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All right, I've had enough of your bullshit. Click.
Yep.
You just shut down everything.
Oh yeah, but it's crazy. I mean, you think they would do it that way, just so it doesn't look like we're firing anything. Just throw out some EMPs that's going to take out some shit, even though it's going to suck for everyone.
I don't know. Do you want to
Figure it
provoke
out.
them though? Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know. I don't feel like you want to provoke them.
Well, if
Like
their ship
poking 'em.
technically failed and then they couldn't communicate with anyone, no one would know.
Well, yeah, you're right. You better hope they can't communicate with anybody, and you better hope nobody
Yeah,
comes
I'm
looking
hoping
for 'em.
so. Well, you think they
You
would have
guys
been?
seen my ship? No, man. I mean,
You think there'd be more UFO sightings by Roswell looking for their own ship? You know what I mean? If that
Well,
happened.
that's what I'm saying. Like, somebody's missing the motherfucker somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, if
It's
they
cost
crash,
someone billions.
yeah, there's
You know what I
aliens
mean?
going. There's aliens going. Hey, Fred never came back last week, and last
Yep.
time I know he went to Earth. So
Oh
let's
yeah,
go look for him.
they have their own conspiracy theories about us,
Yeah.
so they don't fuck with us.
No.
But it's crazy to think about. I mean, I'm my bet would be using an EMP. That's not the radius is not too big.
Maybe.
Be a good idea. But yeah, back to the fucking giants, dude. They have they found like 3 or 4 burials of fucking almost intact, um and they had like their weapons next to them.
Right.
They
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
their spears, and they were like over a meter. And they were intact. Like, where did those go? Why wouldn't those be on display? And if they're
Right.
well, the thing is, if they're giants just like us, but way fucking bigger, 3 times the size of us, why those would be easier to find than Bigfoot? Those people.
Well, yeah, because they don't give
Because
it. What would they fear? They wouldn't fear anything. You know.
no, and but the thing is, like, you think they would start fires to cook food. They don't have
Right.
like a house. So like, unless
You would
they're
think
extinct.
you would think their physiology would be close to ours as far as the way
Yeah.
our bodies
They
work.
say they're like 12 to 20 feet tall.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, anything 20 feet tall is going to be pretty visible.
Right.
And they said like the skeletons were like 14
Imagine you're
feet.
camping and a 20-foot tall naked dude busts through the woods.
Hell no. Hell no.
You're roasting marshmallows with your family. Oh, it's a beautiful night. Look at the stars.
Why is it fucking raining? Wait a
And you hear
second.
and you hear some rustling in the woods. You look over. There's a guy, 20-foot guy, naked with his
Oh.
ding ding hanging out, staring at you.
No. Because they don't have clothes.
It's not this kind of party. It's not this kind of party.
Nope. Nope. But you would think that, I mean, there is a lot of land out there that's not being used. So you never know what is out there. And
Oh,
like,
God.
my thing is, if there is giants, do we label them as human, or do we label them as an animal?
Yeah,
I mean, we're
what
all
would
animals, but
what would they be?
what would be the classified? And they're like, well, we consider, and do they talk? I bet you they talk if they did. If they look like us and just a lot bigger.
You would. I don't know. I mean, there's got to be some. There's got to be some mutation.
Wouldn't I have nightmares of this now?
Of the naked guy standing watching by the fire.
No.
Because that's where
Just
my
keeps-
nightmares are going.
It would be fucking creepy to fucking stay out in the middle of the night in Alaska. Oh, fuck that, dude. I don't think I could do that. Maybe in a cabin, but I'd still be freaked out.
Doing all the research and stuff that I've been doing about Alaska and stuff. Yeah, you're probably right. I would probably be like, I'd probably do it because it would be cool.
Yeah.
And we'd probably die in the middle of the night from some dumb fucking.
I want a
dumb way.
live feed so people can see what
Yes.
happens.
Yes.
So,
Like,
but
I want to record from there so we can show people.
it's like the Hills of Ice, people, but it's in Alaska. Just rip you apart. No.
I gotta imagine there's places where the locals just don't want you there. You know what I mean? Like,
That indigenous island
Yeah.
off below India where you're not allowed there,
oh yeah, they fucking
and they
kill you
will
just for-
fucking murder you right there.
It's like the dude, the
The-
pastor or whatever he
Yep.
was, like going to spread the word of Jesus Christ, just gets fucking
Just fucking
mangled.
murdered, dude.
He gets
And
murdered.
The crimes, that's their island. No one's gonna tell them what to do.
They throw spears at helicopters and shit to fly over.
I heard though that someone got onto the island and the people let them on and actually ate dinner with them and tried doing a documentary with them and survived it, and he left peacefully. I'll have to look this up. It was one person, but every other person was brutally fucking murdered.
Yeah, people they just fucking immediately attack you and kill you.
Oh, and they eat you.
But you know what the problem is? You let somebody on the island,
Yeah.
Somebody from the States or wherever, you don't know what they're fucking bringing with. You're going to wipe out a whole ecosystem that hasn't been touched by a bunch of fucking retarded people.
Oh yeah, or
You know what I mean?
chemicals or
Yeah. Like everything about that place is natural. Like there is no, like
I wonder what they
think
think of when they see like helicopters or planes. They're like, are those aliens to them?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
don't
A
know.
regular plane, they probably think those are the gods.
Yeah.
And I'm serious.
they
You would think because they don't know what it is. Like they have no
no,
technology.
you're right. No, you're right. Like think, but I don't know. They're probably like, big metal bird.
Imagine just someone going over with a helicopter and just putting like a fucking spotlight on them in the middle of the night. That is totally they would say that's a UFO,
Oh yeah.
and they wouldn't be afraid to attack it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they gotta protect their island.
Oh yeah, and their people. But yeah, imagine if that there's people like that in fucking Alaska. You know what I mean? That like if you watch those shows, some of those people do not like outsiders.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Like some of those
Hmm.
people are very,
They're just
they're not,
protective of their shit. And
and they some of them have been there for generations. Like it's not
yeah,
just they moved there from Texas. Like these motherfuckers have been there for grandmothers, grandfathers, great grandfather. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
Like
all the way to fucking early, probably 1800s.
yeah, I mean it's insane. You know how long they've been there, and they don't want a bunch
Not
of retards
not
and they're messing it up.
not only there's all the Indians and the Indian burials and
Right.
all the Indian lands there, native lands.
Mm-hmm.
The native people are all buried all over there, and I think that's why it
Yeah.
is so haunted. And they always
That's
bring that up.
that's one of the things that they talk about a lot is the Indian burial grounds and stuff.
Yeah, that would suck to build a house right over that.
Well, that's what they think happened in the Sarah Jepsen cabin.
Yeah,
That whole story is pretty fucking insane.
I think every story for fucking ghosts is there, and it's always like pretty intense too, compared to like what we
So
hear.
okay, so let's talk about ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts? Do you think that there's ghosts?
I've never come across anything like that, but I would say yeah.
So my not my last house, but the house before I had a lot of crazy shit happen, right? And
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
I don't I hesitate to say it was haunted because I don't know that I believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
But I guess if I had to go one way or another, I'm probably like 51% maybe, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So weird things would happen at so I buy this house. It's a new house to me, obviously, but it was built in 2004. This is 2014 when I moved in.
Yeah.
So I had a girlfriend at the time, and she would spend the night once in a while. So to tell the story, I got to kind of bounce around a little bit. So kind of, keep up.
Bear with you.
So I buy the house, whatever, everything's fine. One of the creepiest things to me, and probably, yeah, it's definitely probably one of the weirdest things. So my bathroom, if I'm at my sink and I look in
Yeah.
the mirror, I can see into my closet from
Yeah.
behind, and I had a safe on the counter, and I never really go into my safe. It's just I have my
Regular
stuff
stuff in
I
there.
stuff that I need to keep, but I don't ever I don't need it.
Yeah.
So I rarely go into the safe. So one day I got up for work like normal. I'm brushing my teeth, and my safe is open. I see the door open.
Yeah.
Now
The door open to your closet.
to my safe.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't have a door to closet. It was just an open like
Oh
room.
yeah.
So, and I see my safe every morning, and obviously I don't particularly look at it, but I notice it. You know what I mean, like in
Yeah.
passing. And the safe is a safe that if you didn't close it correctly, you would know you didn't close it correctly. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
couldn't accidentally not shut it without knowing you didn't not shut it.
Yeah.
So, and I very rarely go into the safe. So, and it couldn't even tell you at the time. I couldn't even tell you the last time I was in the safe.
Okay. Yeah. So it's been a long
So,
time.
it's been a while. So the safe door is open. I'm like, okay, well that's pretty weird. And I'm thinking about it for a minute. Like maybe I went into it and I forgot about it. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I shut the safe, close it, lock it up, whatever. So now at the time prior to this,
Yeah.
my girlfriend would once in a while stay over, and she had a small child at the time. Her daughter was like 7, I think, 7 or 8, and my daughter was like 10 or 11. So they would have sleepovers, and they would always sleep in the living room,
Hmm.
like on the couch. And they both, once they fell asleep, they're pretty much out. So about a couple of nights before this happened, you ever have one of those like you're sleeping and you think you hear like a doorbell
I
and you
hate
wake
that.
up and you're
Hmm.
like, was it a real doorbell? Was I just sleeping? Whatever. So the couple nights before that, I woke up, I heard a doorbell, and I looked at the clock and it was 3 o'clock. And I
Yeah.
was like, and I sat up for a minute waiting to see if it rang again. Nothing. It didn't ring again, so I just went back to sleep. So this happens a couple nights later. Same thing. About 3 o'clock in the morning, doorbell rings. Or at least I think it's
By
a
chance, was
doorbell.
it 3:33?
No, it was 3
Just
o'clock.
joking. I'm just
It was
joking.
like literally, it was like literally 3 o'clock every time.
Yeah.
So the doorbell, I think, rings. I don't know because I'm like kind of half-assed in asleep and out of sleep. So I sit up and I'm like, what the hell? And no, it never rings again. So I just go back to sleep. So fast forward a few weeks or whatever it is, my girlfriend's over. We're sleeping, and I was kind of like up and down, kind of like half-ass sleeping, not sleeping.
Yeah.
And I saw what I thought what my girlfriend's daughter at the time get up and go into the kitchen.
Yeah.
And the way my bedroom was set up, if you open the refrigerator door, I would see the light. The
Okay. Yeah.
refrigerator door never opened, so I know that she wasn't like looking for a drink or whatever.
Yeah.
So I rolled over and I woke my girlfriend up. I said, "Hey, I think your daughter's up or whatever. You may want to go check on her." So she gets up and goes out there, and it's just before 3 o'clock at this point. So she gets up, goes out and checks it. She's like, she's sleeping. I'm like, well, somebody. I'm telling you, I know somebody was up. Like I saw somebody like walk from the couch to into the kitchen.
At that
So
point,
she's
I would
like,
just got in my car and I would have left.
yeah. So she's like, no, I'm telling you, they're sleeping. So I go out there and I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe it was my daughter. I don't know. So go back to bed. And this is before 3, just before 3. And I'm like thinking about it or whatever. Then I kind of fall half-ass asleep again. But I'm up. Like I'm up, you know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
hear the doorbell ring. And I know I fucking heard doorbell ring because I'm awake, right? Like this whole
Yeah.
thing just happened. I'm awake. I get up, I go out, I look out the door, and I had a glass in the door so you can see through it. There's nobody there. There's nothing out there. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And like, I'm not really thinking anything about it at this point. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just like, this is stupid, you know?
You
So
ever think it was
I,
like someone that was like ding dong ditching?
well, yeah, something like that, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. I didn't even open the door. I just looked, I had to turn the light on. There was nobody there. I went back to sleep. There was nothing else happened that night. So a couple of nights later, probably maybe a week or so, me and my girlfriend have been fighting, like arguing. So she wasn't there that night, but we were arguing. So I'm all, mad, upset, whatever. And it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm, just steaming, pissed off, right? And so just from arguing all night about, who ate the last Cheetos or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I hear the doorbell ring, and I'm wide awake, bro. There is zero doubt that the
Yeah.
fucking doorbell rang. At this point, I'm in my boxers laying in bed. I'm so furious just about everything that's happened that day. I have my gun in my nightstand. I was so mad. I jumped out of bed in my boxers. I grabbed my gun. I kicked the front door open like I was the police trying to go in the other way.
Oh my
And
god.
I'm walking around my front yard, dude, in my boxers
Just with a gun out.
with my gun out. And I had one neighbor that lived next to me, all because I was out in the north. So the rest of it was just empty field or
Fields.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around my house, I'm ready to shoot somebody, dude. I'm furiously mad. I'm just fucking irate, dude. So between that and the doorbell rings, I just lose my fucking shit.
Yeah.
So I'm wandering around the house in my underwear. Nobody's there. There's nothing. So I'm like, well, I don't get to shoot anybody tonight. So whatever. So
Imagine if you just shut the door and it just starts ringing constantly.
And
Oh.
it all happened so fast that if somebody was ringing the doorbell, there's no way I would have seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think 8 seconds passed by the time I was in my front yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even if they took off running, like I don't think they could have gotten away.
Maybe
that period of time.
You were being possessed.
Maybe.
And you were enraged because that's what happens.
This is before the safe stuff, right?
Okay.
So my girlfriend had a key to the house, and she would come over once in a while when I wasn't home. And so we ended up breaking up, and we weren't together anymore. And this happened. This is about, I don't know, in a matter of weeks that the safe thing happens, right? And I'm like, and she didn't. And my safe, it has a key or a combination lock, so you can open it either way.
Yeah.
So I had the keys on my keychain, and she didn't know the combination, so there's zero chance she could have really gotten the safe. At least maybe she knew the combination. I don't know. I never told her. But so that whole thing happened with the safe open.
And it was like wide open?
Wide open. Door wide open. So I shut it. Nothing was missing. I went through everything. I had like a little bit of cash and some other bullshit in there. So I shut it. I went to work like normal. Everything was fine. And I don't know if it was that day. It might have been the next day. I came home and my safe is on my bathroom counter with the door open. On my bathroom
That's
counter
and nothing's
with the door
taken.
open. Nothing's taken. There's all the cash is there. Everything's there. I mean, there wasn't a lot of money in there, but
That's so weird.
so I called my girlfriend or my ex-girlfriend at the time. I'm like, listen, I'm not mad. I don't know. I'm asking you because I'm genuinely curious. Like, were you at the house for anything? Because she did have a few things at the house, so it would have made sense that she might have went back and she still had the key,
Yeah.
so she could have came back in and got whatever she needed, and that's fine. Like it didn't end, horribly or nothing. So and she knew like if you needed something, just come into the house and get it.
Yeah.
So I called her. I'm like, listen, I don't care if you did it or whatever, but like, I asked her. I'm like, and I told her what happened. She's like, that's the fucking craziest thing. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I get it. I sound fucking retarded, but here I am. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, it happened.
And
Like,
in the middle of the
what's
night, you're just possessed and you take out your safe and put it on
yeah.
the table and open and go to bed. You just
No, I
don't notice
can't.
it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I came home from work and it was out. It wasn't out that morning. So it happened during the day. Whatever happened during the day.
Was your daughter there at the time or no?
No.
Oh gosh.
So the house was empty. No one was there. No one should have been
That's
there.
so weird.
My buddy had a key and I called him. He's like, no, man, I'm in Tampa visiting my friend or whatever. He's like, I'm not even in town. So I called him and asked him, like, maybe he was, he didn't have a key to the safe. He had no reason to go into the safe. You know what I mean? So that was like the craziest shit that's ever happened to me. And the doorbell thing never happened again. Like the safe thing was like the last thing that happened in that house. But it was pretty fucking creepy, man. Like, and I never really thought like, oh my God, my house is haunted or whatever. Like it never really occurred to me until I came home and a fucking safe's out. Like, and it's not a very big safe because at the time I just had one, it was probably
one of those smaller ones like you can get.
One of the smaller ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly what one you're talking about.
Like a shelf, you put it on a shelf or whatever. Right.
Yep.
But everything was there. Like whatever they were looking for,
wasn't
in the safe because they didn't take it. But that is the craziest fucking thing that's ever.
I would have got cameras at that point.
Well, I put my house up for sale at that point, so I didn't even think about it. But
yeah.
After that, I'm like, yeah, I should.
Well, in your last house too, how the last couple of weeks or months, your TV always turning on in the middle of the night.
That was weird too, man. That's actually the creepiest shit to me. Like when I wake up in the morning, my TV's on in the living room. And I'm like, I know I
wasn't it like around that time too?
It was
the middle of the
happened
night?
yeah. Oh yeah. It
dude, I remember you told me like over a course of like a week and a half, like, dude, my TV keeps turning on in the middle of the night.
It happened like 3 times. And I thought because I had the same type of TV in the living room, whatever, and I put my timer on, because I fall asleep with the TV on. I just turn the volume down. And I thought maybe like when the timer went off, maybe it turned the TV off and it was close enough to the other TV to where like turn the TV on or something. Like, I don't know. That's the only thing I could ever think of. But I would have to get up in the middle of the night and turn the TV off, and I'd go back to bed. And it was fine.
When the TV was on, was it like static or was it just a blue screen or something? It'd be
no. It was whatever was on, whatever TV station it was on. Yeah, it was like
it's just all static and it's really loud.
Yeah,
and it's just that right there I would literally just walk out of my house and get in my car and go somewhere until the morning.
Yeah.
Because that shit would be creepy if it was just complete static. Like, just creepy noise. You know what I mean?
But no, I don't know, dude. It would just the TV would just come on. I never explained. Like it never did it during the day.
Yeah,
it was always at night. No, that's not true. It did come on. I did come home from work one day and it was on. One day I came home from work and it was on. Yeah, and I never turn that TV on in the morning before I go to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty fucking crazy. But the safe thing was like the creepiest thing that I've ever.
And the thing that sucks is you just still don't know to this day what the fuck it was.
Yeah, exactly. Like the opening of the safe, like, okay, I could have not closed it all the way or whatever. I think that's even a stretch because if you understood the safe, you know that like it's just not. You would know if it wasn't shut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just you would know. So I don't know, man. It was creepy and it was freaky, and yeah, I don't know.
You just go to the people's house that bought him, like, hey, has anything weird happened at night? And they're like, no. Okay, just wondering. And then you just
like,
leave,
yeah,
leave them on suspicion.
yeah.
Dude, that would be fucking hilarious, dude, and terrifying for those people.
Well, I have a really good friend of mine who um swears, and he has other people that also agree that his father like haunts his house.
No
Like
shit.
he'll wake up in the middle of the night, and he's had like straight conversations with his grandfather, and like he would have wine bottles or whatever on top of the refrigerator and set in like the middle of the refrigerator, like to where they wouldn't fall off, but he'd come home and they'd be on the floor. You know what I mean? And like not broken.
That's creepy.
Which is creepy. And yeah, he swears, dude. And he's like, and his girlfriend or wife now, but with girlfriend at the time, she would even tell me like, yeah, there's weird shit that happens in this fucking house.
Was it their grandfather's house beforehand?
No.
Okay, just fucking.
He's just hanging out with him. Like
that is creepy.
So
time to call the Ghostbusters.
You have to, and that's where I'm going. Is that there's so many people that like hunt ghosts and shit.
Oh yeah.
You would think there has to be something to it, right? Like
there has to be a market for it. You know what I mean?
Again, you have the same issue though that you do with aliens and Bigfoot. You have blurry pictures, you have audio that's half-assed that you really can't make.
At least we get better audio and paranormal shit than we do anything else. With
like
EMF readers and all that shit. Like so, and like they're recording and asking questions and like voices coming back. If that's staged, it's staged, but at least for us, it's some kind of, hey, this could be possibly fucking real.
But I'll watch like Zach Baggins or whatever, and
Ghost Adventures,
Ghost Adventures and stuff, and they'll be like, oh, you hear this? He said, "Kill me" or whatever he says.
Yeah.
But all you really hear is static, but you see the subtitles on the TV, so you kind of put it together in your head.
Yeah.
So, but like if you
maybe they're forcing you into thinking it says that.
Yeah, it's like a subconscious, this is what you're hearing, this is what you're reading. Like it it kind of links those two things up. I don't know, you know what I mean? But
I know what you mean.
I think about that, like, am I hearing what they want me to hear?
Exactly. Because if they didn't say anything, would we hear the same thing?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And my daughter, when she was little, she was always terrified of ghosts, but she wants to like hunt ghosts and shit, but she was always terrified of it because she would always say like her room was haunted. Like,
we have to go to St. Augustine,
dude. I'm telling you. So she wake up. Me and her did the ghost tours in St. Augustine. It's cool. I have one picture, and I can't. I think I might have shown you this picture.
You didn't show me, but you told me with the orb.
I have it. I have the picture. We're at the graveyard, and this ghost tour, they take you all over they take you to the old jail, the museum, whatever, and they always tell you like just take pictures, like don't take pictures of anything in particular, just take pictures, just randomly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'll see shit, and shit will appear in your pictures. So we're at the graveyard, and my daughter's obviously shorter than me, so I'm behind her and she's taking these pictures, and I'm like looking at what she's taking pictures of, because they were telling you a story about two kids that are seen a lot of the time running around the cemetery.
It'd be creepy.
And you'll see them like playing in the tree and shit, like people see him or whatever.
Yeah.
And a lot of people see him, apparently, like a lot of the locals and a lot of
and they think it's normal.
Yeah, I mean, basically, what are you gonna do? So we're there, and we're all just taking pictures. Everybody, there's like 15 or 20 people in the tour. We're all taking pictures.
Yeah.
And the lady's like, don't look through your pictures now because you won't be able to see much. She goes, when you get home, put them in your computer, because your computer will
pick up those things.
They'll be nicer pictures. So I'm in the shower when we get back to the room, and she's doing it. You know what I mean? Like putting all the pictures in, and she's all excited about it.
Oh yeah.
And there's where we're standing, there's like a above ground tomb, and right before it you see like two green like blobs or whatever, like
orbs?
a mist, maybe orbs, but like they're bigger, they're like a blob, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be like weird lighting or whatever, but the way she was taking pictures, they're in two pictures, and all the other pictures they're not in at all. Like they're perfectly clear. But she has pictures of like a 10-second span on either side of those, picture, 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 picture.
Yeah.
And they're there and then they're moved and then they're gone. So she
Okay.
has two
Yeah.
pictures and they're in different positions. And I don't know what it is. It may just be light, reflecting or whatever. But the position and the way that I know she took the pictures,
Couldn't have like manipulated it.
you would think it would be in more of the picture because they're basically the same picture.
Just over and over again.
Taken, a half a second apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like rapid succession.
By the way, was that with an Apple or an Android?
Bro, nobody uses Apple anymore.
Okay, I just want to know.
Fucking, you wouldn't even be able to make out what the fucking thing is if it was a fucking Apple.
Apple.
It'd be the whole picture would be a blur.
You mean it picked up more? Okay, I agree with that. It's all right, but that's fucking crazy though. You have to show me those pictures if you find them.
I'll have to have her send it to me because I know she still has them.
Oh, yeah.
But she was always into that shit, man. She was always in a ghost, and she always swore that her room was haunted. And
so after seeing those pictures, does it make you believe more or just curious about it?
I question the pictures because the thing is, like,
I guess you'd have to go back there and try it again,
and it's the same, it's the same thing with aliens or Bigfoot or whatever you believe in, right? If you believe in it, you believe in it, right? Like, so I don't know that I believe in ghosts, so it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, it's a ghost. But people that believe in ghosts would be 100% these are ghosts, and you got the pictures, right? And I don't know, maybe they're right, but I don't know, right? So she was always into ghost stuff. So we go to San Antonio, and I forget the name of the hotel. I'm about to look it up.
You told me this too. I forgot.
There's a hotel that's right next to the Alamo. And when I say right next to the Alamo, I mean it is right next to the Alamo. And it was like a 13 or 14-story building. And it was a hospital back in like when the Alamo when the Alamo was under attack and shit.
Like the war and shit.
Yeah. So when all those people were dying at the Alamo, they would take them right across the street to the hospital. And on the very top floor, which is like the 13th or 14th floor, was basically where people died. Like where, if you're in really, really bad shape, they would take you there.
Yeah.
And then if you died, they had a chute, like a garbage chute that goes all the way down in the basement. And they would put your body in there and your body would just go down 14 floors of fucking free fall down to the basement.
Is that where they cremate?
Where they would cremate the bodies and, get rid of them.
Yeah.
So she's like, we got to stay at this hotel. I'm like, okay. Like, so
not creepy at all.
We stay in this hotel. It's like, we got to do it. I'm like, okay, fine, let's do it. And floor 9 and floor 13 are the most haunted floors.
Yeah.
So we actually lucked out and got on 9. So I'm like, okay. And my daughter at this time was probably, I don't know, 13 or 14, whatever, maybe 15. So she's, a teenager at this point, you know what I mean? So there's 2 beds in the room, right? Side by side. And then there's the bathroom, and she's in the bed closest to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And you do hear weird shit, but it's one of those things where A, it's a fucking couple 100-year-old building, and B,
so it could be the pipes.
Yeah, you're psyched up to see something. You know what I mean? Like we walked up and down all the halls,
mind's
took all
gonna play
kinds of
tricks
pictures.
on you.
Yeah. So we did all that, took all kinds of pictures, and stayed up late, and did all the things that she wanted to do because it was a haunted place and she wanted to find a ghost.
Yeah.
So I'm sleeping, I'm dead asleep, and all of a sudden I feel my bed like a big jolt. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Right. So I wake up and she's laying in bed and she's staring at me. Right. And I wake up, I'm like, what? I'm like, what the hell? She's like, there's something in the bathroom. It's on you to go figure it out. And she rolls over and goes to sleep. I'm like, what the fuck? Wait a minute.
Was she fucking with you or no?
No, she like, well, I'm sure she, thought she saw something or whatever. She's like, something's in the bathroom. I'm not over there. I'm over here. Good night. And just,
oh my God,
get out of the bed for the rest of the night. It was really fun. We never actually saw anything other than what she saw in the bathroom. But she like the Queen Mary over in California. I think it's in California. She so badly wants to like stay on that ship and go it's like ghost hunting these places, man.
That would be fucking cool though.
It would be cool. And I like doing it because she gets so amped up about it. It's really funny to see.
That'd be a lot of fun to do, like on one of those. I would just think of Ghost Ship the entire time, the movie.
Yes.
Where everyone gets murdered.
everybody gets cut in half by like one of the
Pretty much
that
everyone on
big
that ship almost gets cut in half.
that big cable comes down and just slices everybody in half.
I'm gonna
Dude,
have to
that's
rewatch that movie to see how cheesy it was because back then I was scared as shit.
it was really cheesy, I'm sure.
Hmm.
But it's been a long time since I've seen it. But yeah,
I saw it like 10
it's
years ago.
fucking crazy.
I'm gonna watch it. That was a good movie though.
So
And all the goat.
yeah, I would I want to go ghost hunting, dude. I do. I want to go ghost hunting. I just want to. I'm one of these people that want to believe. I want to believe in aliens. I want to believe in Bigfoot. I want to believe in ghosts,
Yeah,
and I want to believe in it. But it's like I need more than just wanting to believe in it to believe in it. Like I need to see something. You got to show me something, right? And I think once you see something, that's it. You're in. You're
you're
locked
kind of
in.
hooked.
Yeah. So that's what I want. Like I want to see something. I want
Well,
to.
I I even though I haven't seen anything like that, I still believe in them because there's way too many stories of it for not to be real.
Well, and that's another thing that I think about too. And it's just
Like
like
everyday people,
Bigfoot, aliens, and everything else. Like there's so many stories, especially alien stuff.
aliens
Because
for sure. They've got to be real, man. We're not the only fucking living
well, and
organisms.
that's the way I see it. Like in the whole cosmos, we're the only thing that made it. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah,
just
that's not possible.
I just I think the odds are,
There's a quadrillion planets, and we're the only ones that made
yeah,
something or
yeah.
have
I mean,
carbon and
what
all
about
the
what about
elements.
what we can't see and where we can't get to? Like, there's just no
Exactly.
way that we're it. Now, I don't
Yeah.
know if there's little green men, but
Yeah.
maybe there's bacteria, there's something else out there
Yeah. Oh, there
that
definitely is, dude. For sure. I mean, with all the minerals, the thing is like asteroids and fucking comets that hit planets that are dead are gonna
yeah
have organisms on it. Are gonna have like
have something
carbon.
on it.
They're gonna
Yeah,
have all the stuff on it to might have life on it. Just like fucking it could have happened to us that way. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
just
exactly.
right. It's the right timing, is what it is for things to become alive and real. And
And I think Alaska's the place to go, bro.
that would be so much fun. That'd be a cool trip.
The Alaska Triangle, we gotta do it. Luckily, the triangle pretty much takes care of covers most of Alaska. So anywhere you go, you're in the
And yeah,
triangle.
you're kind of you're fucked.
I want to go to the Alaskan Hotel in Juneau. They say it's one of the most haunted hotels in
Oh
Alaska.
yeah, and there's the in the basement is like where the poltergeist is,
Yeah,
where that guy
like
died and he drowned in a hot tub.
yeah,
There.
ghost hunters like going. They just run out. They won't even like stay and
I
hang.
think a Ghost Adventures did it as well. They did an episode
Yeah,
there. But yeah, there was like that, and then the girl Alice that stayed there. This is like way back then when there was like bank robbers,
right.
all that. That was one of the stories too that they said in that hotel. Yeah, I forgot what year it was, but she got murdered by her husband because of he left to go find a job, and they lived in this hotel,
Right.
and she ended up prostituting, and then he killed her because he found out in one of the rooms, and that was like room 219, I think it was. And
Right.
then
Yeah.
and then in the room 315, where that guy got like attacked by a ghost, there's blood all over the walls, and then he jumps out the window and kills himself, and that's what happened. So there's a lot of crazy stories in that. Fuck that.
Going back to San Antonio real quick. We did a ghost tour that takes you around like all the haunted places around San Antonio, and there's a
Yeah.
bunch of them. And they tell you the craziest stories, man, on these ghost tours. And I don't know if they're true or not, but they're fuck crazy stories, dude.
I imagine
There
they
was
would be.
there was one lady that actually had pictures. One lady that ran a ghost tour. She actually had a picture, and I forget the name of the bar, but it's right by the Alamo, and you can see a little girl in the bar,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's a pretty good fucking picture. I mean,
Of
for
like
what
a
it is,
ghost.
of like a ghost.
Yeah.
And it's just like two or three guys sitting at the bar, and she's just in between them,
Yeah.
like
And
looking,
no one
facing the
noticing.
other way. Yeah, facing the other way, and just kind of like, I mean, it's a pretty convincing picture, if it's a real
Is it like
picture.
an older picture, like older style, like
It's
took on?
not really. Like it's
Okay.
not, it's a fairly recent picture. I don't know, it's not like crystal
So
clear.
near the
Like,
Alamo, is it really city like, or is it like old
yes,
Western like?
no, it's very city like.
Is it okay? Okay.
Yeah, it's right downtown San Antonio.
That'd be fucking awesome to go to.
But I'm sure there's some cool ghost tours up in like Juneau where they go
Oh,
That's
hell
where
yeah,
everything
dude.
happened.
It's fucking,
The story that they tell in the Alaska Triangle about Sarah Jepsen, like this lady and her two children,
yeah.
they moved to Sterling, Alaska. Sterling, Alaska is a pretty remote place, right?
Oh,
So they
yeah.
buy back in 99, they buy this house, and it's like the nearest neighbor's like 2 miles away. So like day one, they just start like weird things start happening. There's fire ant or not fire ants, but carpenter ants all over this house.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like everywhere. And like she's sleeping and like falling on her head and stuff. So she
You know how
calls an
annoying
exterminator.
that would be?
I would be out. That would be enough to be like, you know what? Fuck
I'd
the
buy one of
ghost. I'm
those
not
fucking
fuck
the
these things.
bug bombs. Throw like
Yeah.
3 of them in there and fucking
Yes.
call it.
Exactly. So in 99, she buys this little cabin or whatever. And the lights would flicker on and off. She said her answering machine would like go on and off by itself just randomly. And she has like, and people tell her about like Indian burial grounds and stuff, and she's thinking about it. She's like, maybe my house is built on an Indian burial ground, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for the locals, Indian burial grounds, they're believed to be like protected. Obviously they're protected by the state and whatever, but they're protected by the spirit world. Like in the
Yeah.
spirit world, they protect, they keep the bodies and everything safe in it, right? So she's wandering around the grounds and she starts finding like holes that could be, I don't know, the size of a coffin or a burial ground or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So she's like, that's kind of weird. So that kind of added credence to the fact that maybe it was an Indian burial ground that she was on. So she started having weird dreams. And in the dreams, she would dream about digging holes under the cabin.
So creepy.
And just randomly, just digging holes under her cabin. So then I guess one night she was sleeping or whatever, and she heard like a woman's voice, and it was saying, "Listen to me." It was just saying, "Listen to me," and it would repeat it like 2 or 3 times. So she put all that together, and like one day she like snaps and digs up her floor or pulls up the baseboards in the cabin and starts digging randomly.
Imagine the work that's involved into that for a girl to do. I'm not saying that it's different, but just like putting in that much effort to do that.
Right. Now here you have a lady, first of all, that has two young girls. Yeah. So you got to be a little creeped out anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And like what the thing about like these stories and stuff that you hear and read about, and like these people stay through some pretty crazy shit. Let's assume for a second that everything she's saying is true.
Yeah. Let's assume to that point.
Right. Let's assume that these people that tell these crazy stories are right. Like they put a lot of time into like being haunted and fucked with.
Yeah.
You got about 2 nights with me before I'm like, you know what? Fuck this house.
I wouldn't even done a night. You know what I mean?
Like, I would just call the insurance company and be like, listen, I'm burning this place down. It's cool if you don't want to pay for it, but
and that's exactly what happened.
Send the fire department out. I'm burning this motherfucker down. Like this is insane. So anyway, so she digs up the floor or pulls up the flooring and starts digging. And in the hole, she says, and this is where it gets a little sketchy for me. She says she finds what appears to be like hand bones, like finger bones or whatever.
Yep.
And clothing and hair and like candlesticks for some reason. So she finds that
at that point, I would have been gone. Yeah,
probably.
Or I would have called the police.
I got a lot of questions. I would, that's my thing. I would have called the police. I'm like, yeah, there's a body under my fucking house. Can you come get it? Because it's gross and fucking.
Exactly. You think they'd excavate it and fucking make it a crime scene?
Right. So she finds that there's a abandoned car on the property, and I guess she's going to the car and finds like a diary of supposedly the last.
This is where I don't believe it.
Well, this is where it gets kind of retarded.
Yeah.
So the last entry in the diary is supposed to say like, if I can't have you, no one will, or something like that.
Yep.
Right. So, and supposedly the story is that the lady that lived there was getting ready to leave her husband or boyfriend or whatever it was, and he freaks out and kills her, hides her under the house. That's the speculation. So fast forward a couple nights or whatever, the girls are scared shitless probably, you know what I mean? So they're all sleeping in the living room and they all wake up and the coffee table is floating like 5 feet in the air.
And it's like almost 80, it's like 80 pounds.
And she says it's like 50 to 80 pounds, whatever it was. And it's like a glass table. And then all of a sudden it just comes crashing to the fucking ground and blows into pieces, right? So they get the fucking hell out of Dodge. They're like, yeah, we're good. I'm out.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, that's all it would take for me to light the match and be like, deuces be.
Yeah,
I'm out.
exactly.
Right.
My point,
So
like, I'm wondering, like, did that guy kill himself after that, or did he just vanish? Because at that point,
well,
wouldn't you
they
look
don't
for him?
yeah, they don't ever really specify, I don't think. Maybe he killed himself. I don't know. There's a lot of little things that don't make sense. And like mainly like, if I find fingers under my house, I'm calling somebody,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
exactly.
And it gets even more retarded when it comes to that, a little bit further on in the story. So she ends up leaving the house with the girls. Her mother local, so she goes to their house, and she says apparently the spirit follows her back to the mother's house. Now I've heard stories about like a ghost attaching themselves to,
Yeah.
you can't get away from it. It's
Yep.
attached to you, right? So I'm assuming that's what supposedly this was. And she said she would see like black blobs or whatever and shadows, and something grabbed her ankle one night and like pulled her like
Hmm.
not out of bed. She didn't really say if it was out of bed or not or whatever. So she ends up calling these two ghost hunters, and they go and check the place out, and they're doing all these recordings and stuff, and they get some weird
Some
voice
creepy
phenomena.
shit.
Yeah. One said, I
I
want you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other said, I will get you in time, Tony. And the Tony was one of the names of the ghost hunter, one of the guy ghost hunter.
That's fucking.
So
See, that'd be
like
creepy.
that would creep me out. You know what I mean? And
My
then
one thing I didn't understand about that whole thing, like, this is the first time anyone's ever seen it. Why wouldn't you post it back then when you found it? You know what I mean? Because it was like years ago.
yeah. I mean it was in 99, so you're talking 20 fucking years
So
ago.
how, and well, I guess say those pictures were pretty fucking clear for it being that old.
Well, I didn't even understand the pictures. Like
I didn't see
I could
any
you
resemblance
could
to a human.
right. You
Or
could make yourself, if you looked at the picture as a whole,
yeah,
and I froze the video at the time because I was curious to see what the hell they're talking about.
yeah.
If you looked at the picture as a whole, you could make like a demon face. Like if
I know what you mean.
you know what I'm saying? But if you put it back down to normal size,
Yeah.
it loses everything. You know what I mean?
And
Like
then
it's
like they
almost
said
like
they see the hole in the girl's head.
I
And
don't
I'm like,
understand.
I didn't
I didn't
see
see the
any,
head.
I didn't even
I don't
see
understand.
remotely of a person.
Right. I don't understand any of that. So then the ghost hunters are saying that a big ball of light came through the window,
Yeah.
and it was like the size of a basketball. Like it was
Yeah.
a
Oh,
big,
yeah.
and a lot of people talk about beams of light or, balls of light and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Usually they're real small, like, Ghost Adventures. They talk about that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's like an orb or whatever. My problem with Ghost Adventures is twofold. One, they'll see like a piece of dust floating in the air, and they're
And
like,
call it.
oh,
Well,
there's whatever, and we
rebuttal to
can't.
that, they are pretty good at saying, okay, we went back later in the film and depicted saying it was a bug. Like,
They do that. They do that.
Sometimes.
Yes, sometimes they do that. But some of the videos that I see, you're like, it looks like dust to me. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not, but okay.
I gotta say, on the new Skinwalker Ranch episodes, they went way too far with saying things were there and they weren't. Like in the video, it was clearly a bug, and you could see the bug flying.
Yeah, that's
and they're
my
like,
problem.
that is an orb, and I'm like,
Right.
no, that's not.
Right.
But it was
I
like
can
only
see the
one.
wings.
It was the same guy that kind of went way far fetched, and
Yes.
everyone else is very believable, but this guy like makes it very dramatic, and they never corrected saying it was a bug.
Right.
It kind of annoyed me, but like everything else about the story was.
And you taught, and there's always like video of after the fact.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, they just scratched me.
Yeah. If I'm shooting a documentary, okay.
Yeah.
And it's me and you, and we're ghost hunting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want a camera rolling every single second we're there.
Yeah.
Because if anything happens, you want to catch it. Like I don't,
they always
the
say that the
reason you're
cameras
there.
lose power and lose battery.
Or they lose power, or they
got-
start filming as soon as something happens. They're like, oh, we just heard a noise,
Yeah.
or we just saw something. I'm like, well, where the fuck was the camera 11 seconds ago?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
When it's on a tripod, you know what I mean? And it's not moving.
You're starting recording now? Like, what were you doing a minute ago? Taking a shit? Like, what are you?
You know those fuckers are recording the entire time, but they're only trying to suspense, dude. It's
because
suspense.
if I'm doing that, I'm recording. I want every second. I want every inch of that place covered. My biggest expense would be cameras because I want every fucking thing covered.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, every second of the time I'm there,
I don't
want it
believe the
covered.
whole your battery died right away. I don't like
Right.
until it would happen to me. I
I know a
still don't
lot.
believe
I know
that.
a lot of people talk, say that like your batteries die
And I wonder if
immediately.
they're saying that for they didn't have anything else to shoot, and so they're just gonna blame that and get a different angle. You know what I mean?
Maybe, but it's ghosts are all energy supposedly.
Yeah.
So energy is what
They
they just
take.
suck the energy out of everything.
Yep.
So they
Yep.
suck your batteries dry. Okay, it makes sense if you buy it. You know what I mean? Like if you buy into that, it makes sense. But I don't know. I
I
just want to
do
see
and I
fucking
don't
videos of them.
believe it.
Right. I mean, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if a ghost is energy, then yeah, they'll kill everything in sight that has any kind of power or juice. So
You somehow get up on one of these shows and then you accidentally don't record until 10 seconds after it happened. Shit. Okay. Okay. I know what you mean.
all
You know what I
right, you
mean?
guys got me. I fucked up.
Yep.
You're right. I'm
Yep.
sorry. So back
Hilarious.
back to the story. Jesus Christ. How do we get on these tangents? So
Oh, yeah.
all right, so this chick that owns the cabin meets a guy. They start hanging out, whatever. I don't know if they're a boyfriend, whatever. I don't know. He's
Probably.
there, and he's there for like 2 weeks, and she says he starts acting weird, like whatever that means, and he'll have like weird dreams in the middle of the night, and he'll
I'm
like
guessing
wake up screaming.
possessed.
Well, that's what she thinks. So something happened. I don't know. She comes home, and the guy burned the fucking house down. The entire cabin's just gone.
After screaming like
After screaming,
ridiculously.
yeah. So she comes home from work, burnt the whole fucking cabin down. I probably would have, I probably should have done that before this happened.
Shook his hand. You know what I mean?
Right? I'm like, yo, bro, thanks, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like,
I
at least it
wonder if
wasn't me.
I wonder if she had insurance on that.
I was thinking about that at the time.
And did he get in trouble?
Because you're in the middle of nowhere. Like, did she have a mortgage on that place? Like, it didn't look like a suit. It's not a high dollar cabin.
And
let's
did
put
she
it that
even
way.
pay taxes on that place?
Right.
You know what I mean? Is it like I bought the
into
land and there's nothing else? Like I'm not going to pay Alaska.
Right. So she ends up moving away completely. Well, for the documentary, I guess she comes back, and this is where it really loses me.
I already know what you're going to say.
She comes back with the investigators, and she's like, "Oh, I can feel crazy shit, whatever, blah blah." Right. So she starts to dig. She wants to finish the hole that she was digging.
Yeah.
When she found the fingers, so she's digging for a little bit, and she finds a plastic bag. Right. And
it's like a tarp almost.
Like a tarp, yeah. And she's like, it stinks real bad, but she couldn't get it dug out because the ground freezes. And in Alaska, they have what they call permafrost. So, like, you go a couple feet down, the land it's frozen year round. Like you have to, I don't know if you watch Gold Rush or whatever, but
yeah.
They always have to dig it all up to let it melt before they can pan it for gold or do whatever for gold. So she just leaves it at that. Like, oh, I gotta wait till the summer or spring to come dig it back out. I'm like, what? No, bitch, there's a body right there.
I would have called the police.
Well, that's my point. Like, call somebody, bitch. You got a body laying in the back. She's like, oh, if it's she deserves to be home or deserves to be free. I'm like,
you just left her in the ground, bitch.
Right. I tell you what, don't worry, honey. I'll be back in March to dig you out.
Summer months to find you.
Nah, bitch, call somebody. Like, what do you mean I'm not going to dig her out because it's cold?
And you're like, she's more than halfway there.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would have been like, all right, get some fucking hot water or fucking do what you got to do to get. I mean, if you're really that far into the story and you're doing the documentary on this, why wouldn't you go the extra distance to figure out what it is instead of leaving people? Because now we're never going to know. Right. Because she'll probably never go back there to dig it up. First off, I would have called fucking the authorities and be like, hey,
well, that's
a dead body right here.
That's exactly it. Like, that's the first call you make. Like, hey, before I go desecrating a fucking body and get charged with that, I'm gonna need you to come and dig this thing up.
Yeah, and like, if the guy's still alive when this happened, I mean, who knows how long ago it was? It probably wasn't that long ago, since she bought the house. Knows?
Yeah.
Then she's letting this guy get away with murder. Like, so you never really know. Well, that's creepy. You hear something, Ian?
I don't want to talk about it.
Why is there like
I gotta go.
There's like a blackish orb around you.
There was a weird noise.
Now I'm gonna watch Paranormal Activity and scare the shit out of myself tonight.
Yes,
man. That's a great one to watch to talk about, man. I haven't seen those since the theaters, and they scared the shit out of me, dude.
The ghost stories that these people come up with, man, are just insane.
Did you watch the Paranormal Activity movies?
Yes, all of them.
Dude, they were so I gotta say the creepiest one, besides the first one, when I was like, I don't know what age it was, but I'm like, when I first saw it,
yes,
is the one where like the cult of the old people when she turns around and they're all outside right in front of her. There's like hundreds of them.
Is that the last one?
I don't know. It's the second or the third one.
No, it's got to be this. I might not have seen that.
This
I
is the
saw the
one,
last. I saw the
dude.
last one, so I may not have seen that one.
Dude, this one's fucking creepy as shit, man. It's like I'm always just very
Maybe I
I
didn't
feel
see
really
that.
uneasy about cults, and like I don't like that shit. And like
Right.
how they did it in this movie, it was
Right.
so fucking crazy. Like it's exactly how you would imagine it if you were like, fuck this.
Yeah.
She turns around and like there's like 100 fucking old people all in like dressed weird, and like it's a cult, bro. And they take her into like, I'm not gonna explain it if you haven't seen it.
I don't know that I've seen that one. I don't think I have.
Okay, we're gonna have to rewatch these fuckers and
I'm gonna have to watch it when we do the movie one. We'll talk about it.
I'm gonna rewatch all of them. Yeah, we have to do it. That's
So
a great one.
the last weird thing about this story was, so they're back doing the investigation. They find a body that you can't dig up because it's cold outside.
Yeah.
So they're going to the abandoned car.
That seems so staged.
Yes. And they've already been to the abandoned car because they found a diary. So they open a trunk and they find a newspaper with like the date of like whatever her birth date was.
It was May 7th. That one said it's 1976.
76 or something like that. Yeah,
And
she was born in 78. She was
Yeah.
born 2 years old later or something like that.
But it was the same
But it was her
birthday.
birth. But it was her birth date. As far as the date goes, day and month. So that was, I don't know. That's kind of
Like
the state.
when I saw him open it, he already said "Hey" before he even opened it. So I'm like, okay, this is a little weird. It's a little fucked up.
Right.
But I mean, we don't know because we're not there. But I mean,
right. I mean, how do you dig up a body and be like, nah, I'll be back for it later?
Yeah.
Like
next year's good.
no, motherfucker. You call somebody and be like, come get this motherfucker.
I wonder if someone actually calls the authorities because they watched this show. Like, she just left a dead body there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Somebody should, because she's a dumb bimbo for doing
Episode 4, 30 minutes in, watch it.
I don't know if you guys are watching this, but you really need to.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, what do you do at that point? I mean,
I don't know.
At that point, it's a slap in the face to the dead person.
Right.
Like, I could see the light. Now I'm going back into the darkness.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You were so close to being free. Maybe
exactly.
a couple more months, punk, and I'll be back for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you son of a bitch. Like, I'd haunt her on purpose now. Fuck that bitch.
Yep, I'm gonna attach myself to you the rest of my life.
Yeah. You're gonna learn today.
But man, it's crazy. And in that same episode, actually the second one, there is what people call let's see. Okay, I'm gonna read this one because I wrote it all down.
I haven't watched the second one.
This one is another creature is part man, part animal. They say it says that walks freely between spiritual worlds, suspected of thousands of disappearances. Stories go back years and years. The name is it's like Kustica. It's called Kustica. And it's a shape-shifting. Surprisingly not. Shape-shifting creature that is known to inhabit all of Alaska. Part man, and they say it's part otter.
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 Animal, what the hell?
Yeah, and it says it has abducted countless people. And watching the videos of it, well, here's more of it. It says in Thomas Bay, Alaska, known as the Bay of Death, is one of the most infamous mysteries. At the beginning of the 20th century, after the gold rush ended, among them a gold-hungry prospect, the tribesmen give Charlie his name, a tip-off of where gold is, but they tell him that it's really dangerous over there. So what does Charlie do? Charlie heads into the woods where they told him it was really dangerous, and then it's called Devil's Country, what the natives call it, in those woods because of how bad it is. They don't go in there.
Right.
So what happens is it rains for a week, and so he's stuck in his tent for a week. He has to tent out and survive a week with, I guess, really bad rainfall there. And that was all alone too. After that, he leaves, and it says, what I wrote follows the instruction of where the gold would be from what the native says. He finds a huge ledge of gold, like off of a ledge of like a cliff, finds gold right in the side of the mountain, a bunch of it. And then this is one of the stories that this guy survived it. He says he turns around and there's like five huge creatures that they call Kukushka or whatever it is, screaming and roaring at him, and all of them were running at him at once. And he had a gun and he tried firing it, didn't work, and he fucking dropped his gun, left the gold, and fucking rushed it out of there, and he survived it.
I would have saved for the gold.
Doubt Charlie's still alive to get an interview, but I'm saying that that was one of the stories that from that those are the people that abduct them and probably eat them. It's another half man, half animal creature that is just, it's kind of like the story of like Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or the giants. They're just one of the other and this, like, these stories go back generations and generations of the same stories of the same people.
Well, that's the same deal with like Bigfoot, like the Bigfoot stories that get handed down, they're generational, you know what I mean? Like, and your grandfather tells you something, you're gonna believe it, you know what I mean? Like, why
exactly. Unless they're all liars and they just wanted this to last this long. Joke's on us. You know what I mean?
Gotcha, bitch. Right.
But crazy shit that goes on in Alaska that we would never hear unless we watch these documentaries and talked about it. And now people on our podcast can be like, what the fuck are they talking about? Because we also want to know too. It's like, it's something that these are the stories that if you watch it on Alaska Triangle, you'll see that these are regular people. They look pretty ordinary. I mean, nothing crazy. I would say that the story with the lady in the cabin, a lot of it seemed real and a lot of it seemed set up. Like, I couldn't go either way with it. You can go, if you're like a really hard believer in ghosts, okay, you're probably gonna believe it. But if you're skeptical, it's like, oh man, I see this side of the story and I see this side of the story.
That's not a story that's going to convince you of ghosts. That's not going to change anybody's
I would say fuck no.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's the way I look at these stories. Like, same thing with aliens and Bigfoot. It's the same concept for me.
Yeah, you got to look at it both sides.
Like, if it doesn't make like it, I look at it. Okay, if this story was true, would it change my mind? Or like, it's just I don't know. Like, that story is not going to fucking convince me.
I mean, I believe in aliens. Have you seen Independence Day? Come on.
Well, you're right. You're right.
Mars Attacks. Come on.
Ah, you're right. Oh, you got me, bitch.
Man, I love that movie. These guys are fucking hilarious, dude. I love the first time he fucking incinerates one guy. Everyone's like,
yes,
fucking run. Oh man, that's an old movie. God, if anyone hasn't seen Mars Attacks, go ahead and watch it. You'll laugh.
Great. We gotta watch horror movies. We'll do a horror.
Oh yeah, dude. Dude, we should totally do Paranormal Activity, man. I haven't seen those since they came out, and dude, to this day they will freak me out where I won't even want to go into my kitchen at night.
The creepiest part to me, it's funny because we should probably say this for the movie one, but I'll get into it a little bit. So the creepiest thing would be for me to be like in my house watching TV and all the cabinets open. Like, for whatever reason, that is the creepiest fucking thing to me. Like, I would be like, I'm out. Like, it's cool.
For me, it'd be like Pamela standing in the corner of the room, just staring in the middle of the corner, but not answering me.
That'd be real creepy.
I'm like, wake Pamela, what are you doing? Just standing
wake up and she's just standing over you.
Or, dude, that's like the Paranormal Activity movie. I mean,
yeah.
They did a really good job at fucking freaking people out.
Yeah,
it's like one thing right there that would fucking set
they
me off.
Did it creepy enough to where, like, you're like, holy shit, dude, that's really fucking creepy.
Yeah, dude, they did a good job of that, dude. It just it's gonna scare me watching that movie again. Just I know
we gotta watch it next week.
I'll fucking watch them this weekend, dude. I'm only gonna watch them at night though. I wanna.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I guess we should watch them, and then for next week's podcast, at least watch one of them, or the whole thing, and we'll just fucking talk about all three of them. But if you haven't
the first one, I've seen a bunch. The second one I need to see. I think I don't know if I saw the second one or the third one. There's three of them, right?
I think so.
I think there's three of them.
And they gradually get better and scarier at the same fucking time, dude.
Yes.
Dude, so that is a movie that they did really fucking good on a really low budget, and that was like the biggest turnaround for a movie on how much they spent, considering how much they made.
Yeah.
They only spent like, I think it was under $100,000 for the whole movie, and they made like a fucking 100 million off this fucking movie.
Well, half the movie's home video. You know what I mean? Like,
and like it's just editing, man, of the the prints of the fucking demon. It's like, turn off the camera, turn it back on, put one, turn off the camera, and it's just like
exactly
stop motion. I mean, they did a good job. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch this with Pamela if I can get her to watch this with me.
you see, those are the type of movies, and I grew up watching Freddy Krueger and
Oh yeah.
Jason and all that stuff, and you get to like Halloween's coming out, which is I think
Oh
it comes
yeah,
out this
dude.
weekend actually, doesn't it?
It's
The
coming
10th or
out
something.
soon, man. I'm gonna fucking watch
I
that
think it comes
bitch.
out like the 10th or the 13th or something like that. The
Is
new
it
Daniel Craig, the new 007 comes out tomorrow, bro.
oh tomorrow? Oh no shit.
Oh,
And that's his
cannot
last one,
wait.
dude. That's his
That's the last
last
one.
one too. He
Dude,
says he
he's
wants a girl
so
to play
good.
the next one.
Oh, that's so stupid. Why would you do that?
Uh
Like, I'm not against.
I'm not against it, but
It's
the
not a
James
girl.
Bond was a James Bond.
He's a guy. I mean, the character is a guy. Like,
Yeah,
I understand why they want to do it.
I
It's
do
just
too.
dumb to me. And it's not like,
It just
it's not
doesn't
a
it doesn't work.
right.
Um
It's not a sexist thing or anything like that. It's a dumb, like, it'd be like making fucking Papa Smurf a fucking woman. You know what I mean? Like,
it just it wasn't the
doesn't
story.
work. Right. The
It wasn't the
story,
story. I understand that, and I mean, it might be a good movie if they add a female, but the thing is, it doesn't go with the James Bond story. They're
my
only
thing
doing
is
it to make
appease people.
yeah, and that's what it is. And then being as polite
Right.
as I'm being about it, it's just that it doesn't fit. Like
Right.
you're not gonna
If you want that character,
yeah
make a new character. You know
yeah
what I
or
mean?
make a new storyline. Like
Make a new
make your own
storyline.
shit.
You can make it 007 s, you know what I mean? Esque, like,
Yeah.
but come up with your own fucking idea and do it. Make it a chick. Like, listen,
I would have laughed if you said name it 006. What are they better than us?
I mean, I would name it 008 because we're one better.
I'm
But
just joking. But I'm just saying it was funny to bring it up.
you
that
can
way,
email
but,
us at the Nerd Informer
yeah, and just complain.
Make
But
sure
like
you put
I'm trying to
attention Tyler, because I'm not fucking
I,
reading all
not
these
me.
goddamn emails.
I'm all for it, man. I mean, I'll see a new female as a
I'm
James
not
Bond.
reading fucking 300 emails cursing you out because you fucking sexist bastard.
That is you all day. But you're right though. It's just I wish like why can't people be original? Why are they going to go off of something that's already something that has been general?
That's the thing, man. And there's been so many James Bonds throughout the years.
Yeah.
007s.
It just
even some of those probably could have been done without. But still, it's a guy. It's a male character.
Imagine 15 years ago, if someone said that, they would be laughed at. You know what I mean?
I mean, it'd be like me playing Cinderella. Like, it would be fucking stupid. Like,
yeah.
I don't need that kind of, I need to be included. No, it's not your role. Like,
yeah.
That role is not for me to play. Like,
it wasn't the original
role.
Story. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, make your own original story.
And they're coming out with a new Cinderella. They call it something else, but it's a Cinderella story, and it's completely different. I'm like, you're ruining everything.
Yeah, and they
like,
have
nobody wants to see that. I hope it makes $7 and it fucking bombs, so these people learn their
same with the
lesson.
Little Mermaids. Yeah. They're going. I don't even know how they're gonna do a Little Mermaid movie without it being like like how we saw Little Mermaid. You know what I mean?
Right.
And how are they even gonna do that movie? I mean,
it just doesn't make sense why they do these things, man. Like, I just don't get it.
I guess it's just because we're so used to the original. We're not.
Yeah,
we're not accepting change.
I'm all about
good
change,
as other people.
Maybe, I guess, but I just think a female character should be played by a female character, and a male character should be whatever. Like have you heard Bond is just a male character? It's there's nothing sexist about it. It's just that's just what it was.
Well, it's not only just those movies. Like, they wanted to redo Back to the Future and do a reboot. I think it would have been the worst fucking mistake for the guy that plays Tom Holland, the one that plays Spider-Man. They wanted him to be Marty. That would be the stupidest. He's not meant for that role. Like, he would act his way like he does in Spider-Man. He has that childish, you know what I mean? He has that.
It's interesting. I was thinking about that the other day, and I actually wanted to talk about it on a podcast.
Yeah.
When we were talking about movies, about characters that you can't see anyone else playing, right? Like, I'll give you the biggest one to me is Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man.
No one else.
I don't think anybody else would play Robert. And it's not even so much him playing Iron Man, but him playing Tony Stark. He plays Tony Stark the exact way that you would think Tony Stark would be played. Right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Now you can say, well, if somebody else played it, he would have played it differently, so you wouldn't know the difference. And you're right, but I think that it is.
Performance wise, that was the best you'll ever get.
I think it's the best that you could ever hope for. Like, I
Yeah.
think it was just done so well. A different Captain America, maybe. I mean, you might not be able to make that work.
Mhm.
A different Black Widow, maybe
Mhm.
you might be able to make that work. But I don't think you could have made another Iron Man as popular as Robert Downey Jr. made Iron
You're
Man.
right. And well, the thing
He's
is,
probably my number one character that I don't think you could
what
replace.
I think that what they really messed up on too. There's a game that I played, and it's probably one of the best games I've ever played for Sony PlayStation. It's called Uncharted. There's a Tom Holland is Drake, and Mark Wahlberg is Sonny in it. That is the worst cast I think you could pick for those roles. I'm not joking when I say that. If you played the game, Tom Holland is way too young to play the role of the main character,
Right.
and Nathan Daniel looks exactly like him and talks exactly like the character. It's really weird. And everyone even said this would be the perfect character, and he even said he would be the best character for it. But he looks exactly
I'm
like
not
the video game.
aware. I'm not aware of what of the game or whatever. But
Um,
yeah, I know what
I'll,
you're saying.
I'll have to
Like, it's
show
just,
you it, and I'll send you it because of
yeah.
how much that the game character looks like him, and how he acts in the game is exactly this character,
Right.
or this actor. And they picked Tom Holland, which resembles nothing of Uncharted.
Right.
Like, I'm going to see the movie just because of I'm a huge Uncharted fan, but
Mhm.
they completely got the wrong actor, and they got Mark Wahlberg being a guy Sully. They got him being Sully, which, yeah, Sully in the game is probably in his late 70s. I'd say late 70s, early six, late 70s, early late 60s. I don't know. But Mark Wahlberg in real life is like, you know what I mean? Looks nowhere
Yeah.
near that
I know.
age.
I know why I thought about this now. I was thinking about Venom because I just watched Venom.
Yeah.
The Woody Harrelson
Woody Harrelson.
playing.
Yeah. Brock.
He
Or not Brock.
played.
Sorry.
He played the
Yeah. Yeah.
Carnage character.
Yep.
I don't even remember what his name was, but he played that character so well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that anybody else probably could have played it the same way.
Yeah.
Just because Woody Harrelson's awesome, like everything he does. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
dude,
I completely agree on that.
you know what I mean?
It's like taking
He's
Ryan
really
Reynolds
good.
out of Deadpool and putting someone else. It just would
Yes, you
never
can't
work,
do it.
dude.
You can't. Yeah, you can't do it.
You,
He's
you
another
would,
one. Like,
yeah.
he. You could maybe, I don't know. You might be able to find somebody that could.
The humor that Ryan Reynolds comes up with is more or less in
Yes.
his own mind, not even
Yes.
script. So for someone to come up with that, and as funny as
Right.
he is, you
Yes.
couldn't get that off the bat.
Yep.
It would be
Like, there's
scripted.
just certain characters. Another character in Marvel that kind of the one of, well, he's a big character at first, is Coulson, Agent Coulson.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The guy that, I don't even know the guy's name, but he plays that role so well.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably find somebody else to play that role, but he plays that role. Role just fits him so well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that he's another one that role just fits so perfectly.
Yeah. It just, I hope they don't. And the thing is, the next James Bond will probably go the route we don't want it
It's
to.
going to be that black woman
Um,
that plays what's her name? Shit, I forgot her name.
What?
She's gonna be the next James Bond or the
Uh,
next 007.
Who?
I
didn't
forget her
even know.
name. It's the black woman that was in fuck, what's her name?
And
Hold
what
on, I got
is she in? It just shows or movies?
no, she was in the last 007.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Oh, that would work. I mean, it's probably it's not James Bond, so I wonder what they're gonna call her. You know what I mean?
Naomi Harris, is that? I think that's
Naomi Harris.
that might be who it is.
That would
Um,
work. They just
she's
have
good.
To,
She's good in the role. She's
yeah.
good at what she does.
Yep.
It's just she's not 007. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's not James Bond. And I think part of the thing is, I think maybe that's what they're going for. They're not necessarily looking for James Bond.
Unless
007
unless they're
007
going,
is just his moniker, like
yeah.
his agent number or whatever.
Unless
So
they're gonna go that route just so they can make more movies, and you know what I mean? Because
maybe.
of it, they've gone so many times off of 007 James Bond,
Yeah.
that they just have to switch it up to get another 15 to 20 years of movies. So I could see where they
Yeah,
could switch it up,
but you know
unless
what, Here's my fear though. My fear is that it turns into like the female Ghostbuster version,
I wouldn't even watch that
which
movie, even if I was paid to watch that movie.
which I watched, and it wasn't. I mean, it was a horrible movie, but it was a horrible movie by design.
Yeah.
But like, I would watch it again. Like, Thor's in it. Chris Hemsworth's in it. He's like the dumb secretary guy. He's actually
Okay.
pretty funny. He's actually pretty funny in it.
I don't think I would like it, not just because it was played by women. It's just the original was so good. I didn't want to be upset at what they made.
Well, that's
Um,
what I'm hoping they don't fuck up the new one coming out.
yeah.
The only thing is about that is that it's the
It's
same
when they were
story.
kids.
It's the same. No, it's their grandkids.
Oh, it's their grandkids. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a continuation of the same story. So I think
Okay.
it'll be okay there. But when they did the all female version,
Yeah.
it just
You
I don't know.
sexist pig.
It bombed. I mean, it bombed. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't.
No,
I
even
watched it, motherfucker. I watched it. Don't tell me.
but no, but the thing is, everyone said that it sucked. So
right.
it's
Well,
not.
that's what I'm saying. The movie bombed. Like, it was not a success at
Um,
all. And
I
Melissa
think it's
McCarthy
because so many people had
is
expectations.
so goddamn funny.
I think so many people had expectations of it being really good, like the originals. Dude, you cannot
Right.
beat those original fucking movies.
No, you can't.
Dude, there's no way. Just like Ninja Turtles, dude, when they brought fucking Megan Fox into it and all that, and it's
Yes.
all computer animated and CGI, is so bad.
And in
Um,
fairness, if they redid Ghostbusters with 3 guys, it would be fucking horrible too.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like,
Yep, they can't beat it.
that's why I'm worried about this one being horrible, because I think they're using the grandkids as like the next generation type.
Yeah, and some of them are from Stranger Things. They used
Yeah,
some of the kids.
some of the cast of Stranger Things.
But like the Ninja Turtles, it would have been an even better movie if they just used the original Ninja Turtle costumes or made them the
Yes.
same,
Mhm.
not make them all computer animated. Like
Yes.
that ruined it for me.
But that's the problem.
I didn't even
CGI
watch
shit
the fucking
is-
movies. I saw like commercials. I'm like, there's no way.
I don't even know that
this.
I saw the last ones.
I didn't see them. I have the originals. Look, I like them better.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just like the original Mortal Kombat. I was a fucking huge fan. I really like the new Mortal Kombat, but the original, you can't beat the originals.
Yeah.
It's just something about the originals, man. You just can't beat them, man. You can't beat our times.
My problem with them doing all these new remakes and stuff, it's not even that they're using females or whatever. It's that just come up with something new. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Give us something new. Like,
Or
don't
create a new-
recreate.
Make a new franchise of something that no one's ever heard
Yeah.
of. So when in 20 years someone's like, they can't recreate that, those originals were the best.
Right. Don't make another Back to the Future. Make something
Yeah.
else. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
I don't care if it's, the same idea or whatever. Just don't base it on Back to the Future, right? Like, just come up with your own fucking ideas.
Yeah, exactly. So
And,
hard for people to do these days because they can just go off the originals and
Well, that's the problem. Is that
make it bomb.
everything
Like
is
Paranormal Activity was its own kind, dude. No one's ever done that. You know what I mean?
everybody is. That was kind of Blair Witch-esque as far as like the filming and stuff goes.
Yeah.
But you're right. It was something so different and original,
And it scared
that-
people, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was fucking creepy as shit.
Just like when you got the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Like the originals,
Oh
dude. No
my
one saw that
God.
kind of stuff before, so they don't know how
Love
to
the
react.
fucking
They
dude.
just got super scared because
Those were my first horror films that I remember watching.
Yep, dude.
as a
Same here,
kid,
man. Same here.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
That and Chucky.
The most famous scene of any movie that I've the one that sticks in my mind out of any movie that I've ever watched in my entire life is
Yeah.
Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, when a kid gets sucked into the bed
Yeah.
and it blows blood all over the ceiling,
Yep.
and the blood just stays up in the ceiling.
Dude.
That fucked me up, dude, in ways that I don't even know. Like, I'm telling you, it was the creepiest shit. And I remember just sitting there in awe and like, oh my God, what did they just fucking do? That was amazing.
Because you've never seen it before or anything
And
like
you've
that.
never seen it
What the
before. And you've
fuck?
never seen it before.
And you're scared
and-
shitless.
It was such an original idea, just
Mhm.
Freddy Krueger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't based on anything. It was just an original idea, and it worked really, really well. And the character made sense. Obviously, not in like a realistic term, but
Mhm.
a guy getting killed and taking his revenge in a dream world or whatever. Like, there's something about that makes sense to me.
I know what you mean.
Like, the problem that I have with like Halloween and stuff is that there's never an end. Like
They just keep dragging it.
they're on like Halloween 98, I think, right now.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
And the last one was really good. I remember watching it, and this one looks really fucking good, and I'm definitely going to watch it. But at this point, they've killed him every way you can kill him, so there's no killing him. You know what I mean? Like, how do you end this?
Incinerator.
Right? Well, I think they've done that, and they've killed him in every way you can fucking think of killing him. But he always comes back. So while Nightmare on Elm Street is not realistic by what I mean, it's not couldn't happen, but it's more realistic than the fact that you can't kill this fucking guy.
Yeah.
And there's weird. Why does he have like superpowers? How can he survive bullets and shotguns and fires and everything
exactly
else?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. Like,
because he's psycho.
But it's a great fucking movie. You know what I mean? Like,
the last one was really good.
They lost me after about 4 or 5, and then I got into the newer ones.
Oh yeah,
which are the last one's really good. This one, the new one, comes out like next week or whatever. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna watch that.
And who's the lady that plays what the hell? Tell her name.
Sarah.
Oh,
you're talking about his sister.
Yeah, his sister. Why is her name slipping my mind? Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
She plays a badass. I mean, it's
in that last
cool.
one. She
it's
was
cool
a
to
badass.
Yeah, it's cool to see her, playing that game, playing that role. Like, she don't give a fuck in this one. Like, just clearly, she's hunting that motherfucker. Like,
and who turned out to be a really badass too was fucking Sarah Connor and fucking the new Terminator. She's a complete badass in that one, dude.
Yeah,
and she's fucking a lot older too.
Yeah, but that's cool to see. Like, it looks like she's hunting that motherfucker in this one. Like, he's probably hiding from her. Like,
made that whole house a booby trap, dude.
Yeah. So I really want to see that one. I want to see that as soon as it comes out. When did it come out? I think it comes out.
It comes out in like a week or two.
Oh,
alrighty.
When does it come out? Hold on, I gotta see when it comes out. I don't fucking know.
Friday the 13th.
13th. I don't know. It comes out soon. I think it's next week. It's Friday.
Yeah, it might be. I'll have to look into it.
I don't know. The 007 comes out tomorrow, bro. I'm going to see it this weekend. It looks dope.
Hell yeah, bro.
So good.
But I can say we can end our podcast here. It was a good fucking podcast. A lot to talk about. I mean, there's endless stories at Alaska Triangle that we can go over. And we'll eventually bring up more. And they're adding to that season every week. That second season.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's a new Bigfoot one on there too.
So we'll have some other shit to talk about too, where that goes. But this will wrap up that series for now until we.
Hell yeah, dude.
And it's October, so we're doing Halloween stuff this year. This month.
Yeah, dude. But appreciate everyone stopping by. Always appreciated. And check us out on YouTube, the Nerd Informers, and then you can check us out on Instagram as well. Always check out our Facebook page. We always post to it every single day. Funny memes.
It would have been on Twitch tonight, but I don't know what I'm doing with electronics. So
yeah,
maybe next week.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. But you guys have a great one, and we'll talk to you next week.
Later.
See you guys. Let me get out of this.